Hello, welcome to Byte-Sized Brief. I'm Sterling.
And I'm Danny.
We have a lot of topics to talk about today. But first, why don't we jump right into the brand new product that Apple just released? It's very strange. It's supposed to be like a crossbody strap, but a lot of people are calling it the Apple Sock. What do you know about it, Danny?
So they also released another weird product that I thought we would kind of talk about this on one. So basically it's actually officially called the iPhone Pocket, and it's basically a crossbody strap that kind of looks like a sock that you put your phone in or any pocketable items, as Apple says, and you just walk around with it. And not only is it weird, and a lot of people are calling it a sock because they actually used to have real socks for iPods back in the day. But the worst part, beyond the fact that it's weird in general, it cost $130 or $230 for a long version. So, what do you think about this?
What is it made out of? Is it just like cotton? Because for $230 for cotton would be absolutely insane.
I don't think it's made out of cotton. I didn't look too much into that, but I think it's like some type of, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But apparently it's designed by this famous fashion designer in Japan called, I cannot even like pronounce it. I'll put it on the
Bailey. Okay, so Bailey Hikawana.
No,
Bailey Hikawana?
that was the other product. This one.
Oh, that's the other product. Oh,
is like,
this one is Icy Miyake.
yeah,
Icy Miyake.
Weird
Maybe.
name.
Okay, so he's some Japanese fashion designer, and I've looked at some of his stuff. It's very strange stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure you put some on screen, but some really weird stuff he's made. And for Apple to sell this product, I mean, it's probably a great product. I mean, it looks nice, but for $230, that is absolutely insane. I mean, $230, what is it made out of? I mean, even if it's cotton, maybe it's a super expensive, like Giza cotton or something like that. Why is it $230?
I honestly don't know. Actually, let me look this up real quick. I think it's some type of I know it's like 3D knitted, but I'm not even sure. But I honestly.
The funny thing is, like, they're talking about 3D knitted. That's practically every single from people like breaking it down. It sounds like it's exactly the same as regular knitting.
Okay.
From the sounds of it. I'm not sure if it is.
So it's apparently made out of nylon and polyester.
Which is not too expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. But honestly, I think this is like one of the stupidest things that Apple has ever done. It wouldn't be too stupid if it was like the most I would ever pay for this is like $70, and that's
Yeah.
like really expensive. And even if it was cheaper, it's still a little weird. But another part of this is that like a week after Apple announced this, they also announced like this stand for your iPhone. And I forgot what it's called, but it's basically this weird looking MagSafe stand for your iPhone that it looks just so horrendous in my opinion. It's only $70, but for a stand, that's really expensive. And I do not know, like, why is Apple and this one's with another fashion designer, Bailey Hikawa in Los Angeles. What is the deal with right now?
I do not know, but this one makes a little bit more sense to me, to be honest. I mean, it's $70, way more affordable, and it's supposed to help people with like dexterity problems where they can't grab things properly. It's supposed to be easier to grab. The thing is, they could have made it look nice. They could have designed it where it didn't look like a child's toy, because it just looks like one of those like triangle things at, like, a park that you climb up and climb out down the other side. I mean, they could have made it look nice or maybe pick a different color instead of, like, bright green. But I'm sure it's very helpful for people with dexterity problems. I'm absolutely sure of that. But I think Apple could have tried a little bit harder, making it look normal, maybe.
Like, honestly, to me, is the weirdest looking thing. And that, I mean, your point about people who have disabilities, that is, I think, the main purpose from what I've heard. But first of all, that's really expensive. And why not make it look nice? But probably the big thing of both of these is why is Apple making these weird products all of a sudden? I mean, technically they're not making them, but they're partnering with these fashion designers to make them. And that like they rarely do this type of thing, but I don't think they've done it to this severity before.
I'm gonna be honest, I think that's actually a pretty good move for Apple because I think their lineup has gotten pretty boring for a lot of people. A lot of people don't know what's new in the new phone, even if they upgrade all the cameras. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the same phone." I think, like, new accessories help revitalize that, like, energy for Apple products again. I just don't think this was the thing that they needed, like a sock and a traffic cone block. I don't think that's what they needed for their products.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was gonna mention. I do think I would like it if Apple started, venturing out more maybe and or making, stuff like cool stuff, but this is not the thing to do that with. I mean, you already have the, like, crossbody loop that you can buy that you can put on your phone case, which honestly, they're both kinda weird, but that would be more of a suitable thing because it's not
Mm.
$230, but it's still really weird.
Absolutely. I think it's good that they're adding new stuff to the lineup. And something that they're adding is new satellite features to their products. So, is this for their satellite features? Is this just new normal texting they're adding, not just SOS texting?
So, from what I've heard, the main new features that they will be adding in the future, we still don't know when this is coming, but they're working on it, is framework for third-party apps that will allow developers to tap into their satellite networks. Satellite-powered maps, so instead of having to use offline maps, because right now you can download a portion of the map to use offline, but you wouldn't
Hmm.
have to do that. You could just use a satellite, richer messaging communications. I'm not I don't know if it's gonna be still using SMS, but they are going to hopefully support photos, which makes me think it will probably be RCS. I hope it's RCS, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure. And then natural usage, so they're also working on making it where you don't have to just hold your phone up in, like, a clear sky, like, even work in your pocket, which I don't know how they do that, but that would be really cool if they did. And then, also, I've heard that they might, like, implement this into some cellular coverages beyond like, have both at the same time, not just when you don't have cell service, so
Okay. Yeah. Going to the if it supports RCS, I probably don't think so because RCS supports up to 100 megabyte files. And for it to send a photo, the photo can be as big as it wants, up to 100 megabytes. And doing that over satellite at this point in time, I don't think it's plausible. I'm thinking it's just going to stick to MMS, maybe. Maybe not just SMS, but also MMS. MMS is larger than SMS, although they're still both pretty bad. They're not really good either way. But I think this is great that Apple is uh, adding more features to satellite connectivity. I'm so excited for someday I don't have to be in sight of a cell tower. I can just always have cell service. This is going to be amazing, and especially because other companies like Google Pixel, they already have the SOS features and stuff like that, and they're rolling out new features like regular texting. And Samsung right now is working on data connection plans for cell service with Garmin if they work a deal out. Doesn't look like they're going to work out a deal this year. Maybe you have to wait for next year too, but hopefully that gets implemented. But for overall for Apple, you said you have no idea what time this is coming out?
No, I haven't seen a specific date. I think maybe, like, iOS 27 next year, but I'm not sure.
Okay. So for iOS 27, that'll be next year. Do you think it's gonna be only for their new phones, especially, like, having it in your pocket and still communicate with satellites? You think that's gonna wait for the new phone, or you think it's gonna go into the older phones too?
So, I would say the 14 and newer, those are the phones that support the satellite. From what I know, they have not changed any hardware of the satellite stuff. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I mean, maybe the chip plays a part into it, but also kinda talking about what you said about everyone doing that, Apple has already had messaging too, so that would be an add-on, but I honestly think that satellites could be the future of data and cell service. Like, one day we won't have cell towers. Honestly, that's kind of exciting just thinking about that. And I think it could be one of the next big steps for phones if they get the technology good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll always have service. You won't have to go outside to get service. You won't have to be near cell tower, and all the cell towers won't have to really exist anymore. They don't have to have cell towers all over the city and spending hundreds. Well, they will still have to spend money on the satellites and stuff. Which is it financially viable for the companies to do that? I personally think it is because keeping a cell tower up and running all the time with power, with data connection, all of that, I think over time would be probably equivalent to satellite. I'm not sure. I'm not no rocket scientist. I have no clue how any of that stuff works. But I think this is a pretty good step for everyone. I think it'll be amazing once we get like fully cell serviced, not fully satellite serviced phones.
Yeah. And I actually one thing I forgot to say is that from what I've talking about financially, what I think Apple is gonna do with these new features is use Starlink to run part of it, because I think they're trying to work out a deal or something, I'm not sure,
Mhm.
because that way the infrastructure is kind of already built up in some things, so, yeah.
Yeah, if they're just renting Starlink system, that'll be amazing because they don't have to take care of all the is the satellite going to work? All that kind of stuff. They don't have to take care of the engineering part. They just need to have an not API access, but sort of like API access to the Starlink systems. And Starlink is the best one out there right now with the exceptional speeds, like comparable to a regular home internet connection.
Yeah, and another benefit could possibly be just connectivity in general, because there is dead spots everywhere. Well, not dead spots, but spots where you have one bar, especially where I live. Like, at my house, I only have one bar, and they've been putting up these, like, mini cell towers all throughout our city, but it hasn't helped, so I don't know if my cell carrier doesn't use those, I'm not sure. But I don't know if with the satellites, maybe you would have better signal everywhere, but that could be a possibility.
Absolutely. I think it's a good step in a direction. But what is not a good step is Samsung is on their newest update, they're releasing ads on their smart fridges. Everyone knew this was going to happen. Everyone did. You put a screen on a fridge. What stops them from putting an ad on there? I mean, think about Amazon Fire tablets. Amazon Fire tablets, whenever you unlock the device, there's an ad right on your lock screen. It's absolutely
And you
insane.
have to pay to get them off.
Yes, I know. It's absurd. And now Samsung, why did you have to do this? Your smart fridges were the best. And now you're just jeopardizing your whole entire smart fridge business.
Yeah, so, I mean, you probably already know my opinion, this is not a good thing, and and another thing is that on all of their newer appliances, they've been adding a screen. Like, I saw a commercial where they had a screen on the oven, on your washer. So, are you going to have, basically billboards all throughout your house on all your appliances or something? And from what I'm t I'm not exactly sure, but it sounds like you can turn them off, but, like, only if you have, like, a family hub. I'm not exactly sure, but even if
Mhm,
you can turn them off, knowing the direction they're going, I'm sure one day you can't turn them off. I mean, assuming that yeah.
mhm. Yeah, but this is kinda similar to what a lot of phone companies are doing already, like, with pre-installed apps and that kinda stuff, and, like, even for Apple, and they once in a while, they'll advertise, like, stuff on their Apple Wallet for, like, an Apple Card and all they'll do advertising themselves too, but this is different in the case that if it's a pre-installed app, you uninstall it. If it is, like, a notification for, like, a new Apple Card or something like that through the Apple Wallet app, you just swipe it away. With an ad on a fridge, it's going to be there whenever you walk into the kitchen. Will be absolutely annoying. I Do you think this is gonna make big, like, substantial differences with Samsung and their fridge business? Do you think people are gonna purposely avoid their fridges because of this?
I mean, possibly, especially if it gets more widespread out in the news or if they make it where you can't turn that off. Because, like, another concern I have is, like, what if you have little children and, like, something bad comes up on an ad or something? I mean, I don't know what they're showing on them,
Yeah.
but
That's why, like, removing ads through the Family Hub thing, it's basically if there are people in your house under this age, it won't show ads at all.
yeah, and funnily enough, I actually saw a post of one of their fridges displaying an ad for Apple TV on Samsung fridge, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, that's a bit backwards. I don't think they should be advertising another main competitor's product.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just like
And do you think this is going to be like a security problem? Like having an ad in your house and you know how like for advertising it's privacy problems. Like to get good ads, they have to know you like this company, you like this product, you like this kind of thing. But do you think there's going to be overall security problem wherein they can use these ads to like get your habits even more so?
honestly, I mean, I don't know because I don't know exactly what all data the fridge could collect. Like, does it have, like, a camera on it or something?
Some of them have interior cameras basically so you can see like what products you have in your fridge still.
So, I mean, and, like, if they have, like, personal profiles, maybe? Now, if they start adding, like, outdoor cameras, like, what if they, like, have a camera that it can identify people and it'll be like, "Oh, hey, you like chocolate milk. Guess what? There's chocolate milk in the fridge," or something. I mean, I don't know.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's just insane for them to do this. It's just why did you have to? The fridge is already like $3,000, $5,000. I don't need to have ads to subsidize that. And what also is absurd is the insane security flaw at the Louvre. So the other day, not the other day, almost a month ago, the Louvre had a giant like a breach where people just came in, like I think it was 2 or 3 people came in,
Dressed
they stole a
as
bunch of jewels and stuff.
dressed as security workers, and no one noticed them.
Yeah, dressed as security workers, they stole a bunch of stuff, and they did an independent security research on the security camera footage and all the security system of the Louvre, and they found it was laughably insecure. What do you think the password to access the security cameras was?
Well, I know what it
Oh,
is,
you know,
but if I didn't know what it is, I mean, I would think it would be, like, some long thing that they probably, change, like, every month or
mhm.
something, something like that.
Yeah, this rolling passcode that changes every month so no one, like, no old worker can, like, access this system. No, the password was, mind you, the name of the museum in all caps. Not spelt differently, no special characters, the name of the museum.
These
That's like that's that's like me having a passcode for my car. That's car. Or like on. Or password, password.
Or like
That is
like for your car, you could just have your password as unlock car.
it, it's just absolutely insane for them to have the name of the museum as the password for every security system in the museum.
And what
And not only that, oh,
and what's even crazier is that apparently the security system they were using was from 2003 and they didn't update it at all. And it was running on Windows Server 2003, which even the legacy version was discontinued in 2015.
to think, okay, it's Windows. Windows is already not that great. I mean, newer versions of Windows are good at security. Older versions of Windows, not at all. And it's 2003. That was before I was born. That is older than I am.
That's
I highly
over
doubt the
20
security.
years.
It's over 20 years ago, and I highly doubt that security is even remotely secure nowadays.
This is just crazy to think that this fancy, high quality, whatever museum in Paris has that type of security system. Like, no one would ever think that, but it just is. Like, they obviously need to fire their whole entire security team.
Yeah, but to think that this is probably not the only incident of this. Like, think about your bank, or think about your accounts that you have online. Who's in charge of the admin of it? And do they keep a good track on it? Because this is not unusual. This is unfortunately kind of common. Like for people to have extremely unsecure passwords that they'll remember and are so easy to guess.
Yeah, like, I think people a lot of times don't care, like, about the security part, like, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I have to do this." So they just make something random like that. Well, that's not even random at all. It's like "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna make it not obvious by making it obvious."
Yeah. I think that whoever's in charge of, like you said, who's ever in charge of the Louvre, they need to fire their security team, get a new security team, and redo the whole entire security system. Because at that point, there's no fixing it. They just have to start over.
I mean, that AI system that called the police on the kid with Doritos probably could do a better job.
I think it could, because it actually could have identified people breaking in at least. uh, but you know what's actually really exciting? The new Steam machine. So back, was it 2010, 2015? Around that time, Steam was allegedly making like a home video game console. Everyone was hyped for it. Nothing happened. It kind of fell through the cracks. Nothing happened. But it's back and is so much better than all of us thought.
So, yeah, I've never had, like, a Steam anything, that I've heard of the Steam Deck and stuff like that. I actually did see the announcement video for this, and basically, they came out with a VR, the Steam machine, which is like a console, and then the controller, and before I get into my opinions, what's your opinions on this?
I think this is absolutely amazing. We need something new. The Xbox is falling apart. Xbox is falling apart. I'll just put it that way. Xbox is falling apart. PlayStation. I mean, there's PlayStation. Yay. It's okay. And their prices keep going higher. And then there is Windows, which is, to be honest, if you want a gaming console, don't use Windows. Windows is just not meant for gaming and gaming only. It's like, oh, you can use it to schedule your next meeting or your next pizza. I don't like it. I use Windows myself. I don't really like it, like at all. But here is something new. The Steam machine. It is allegedly going to be $500 to $600. We don't know how much at the moment. That's right now what we're guessing. If it's $500, don't get anything else. Literally, do not get anything else. Do not get your own PC. Don't get a laptop. Well, you can get a laptop. Don't get a PC. A PC is irrelevant with this thing around. This thing has amazing performance. And it doesn't have Windows. It has SteamOS, which that's a divisive topic if you like SteamOS or not, but it's built on Arch Linux, and I've used Arch Linux. I really liked Arch Linux. And with Steam on top of it, I think it is going to be a no-brainer. If you're looking for a gaming device, it may be a PC, PlayStation, Xbox, no, Steam machine. Just get it. Now, that's my opinion on it. What is your opinion, though?
So I actually think that this is really good too, mainly because if you want to get into the PC gaming category, a lot of people use Steam on their normal PCs. So if you want to get into that, this is like the best thing. And even if you are into that, this is like the best thing. Because with the gaming PC, you have to deal with Windows, and a lot of times you have to build them yourself or find out whatever, is right. With this, especially if you're coming from a console, like me, I'm not really into PC gaming. I have a Switch too, but if I wanted to, I would get this because it's familiar to a console, but it has the whole Steam library, it which has basically all the biggest hits that you would play on a PC, and it's complex enough but not over complex, and I do really think it's a great idea.
And I think it's better than a gaming console because you can just run it like a regular computer. It's Linux. You can run it like a regular computer. You can't like boot up a web browser on PlayStation and then do your taxes on there. You can do it on the Steam machine. But also, that's not the only thing they released. They also released their VR headset, which I'm going to be honest is not that impressive. The screens are LCD screens. Eh. The battery life, I actually don't remember what the battery life is, but I don't remember it being amazing or anything like that. And the cameras are black and white. There's no like pass through or anything. It's comparing it to like everything else on the market. No, I don't see it.
Yeah, that's honestly the exact same thing that I was gonna say. Like, okay, but it literally runs like a very similar chip that like the Quest 3 has. The Quest 3 has full color pass through in mixed reality and has most of the VR games. So I mean it's okay, but it's not necessarily anything to write home about. And then we also have the controller, which kind of the same thing because like, it's only something you would really buy if you're getting the Steam machine, although you can use it on other things, so I guess if you like the touchpads or something, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just like they took a Steam Deck for the controllers, cut the screen out, and pushed them together. It does not look good. I'm going to put it out there. It looks bad.
Mhm.
It does not look comfortable at all. So, I mean, if you're into the having like touchpads on it and then two sticks and all of that, maybe. But for most people, I don't think they're going to like it.
Yeah, it honestly kinda looks like a normal controller is, like, growing tumors at the bottom of it or something.
That's actually a really good way to put it. That that actually does look like that. Uh, so I think Steam Machine, absolutely. If once it comes out, if it's for $500, get it. If it's $600, weigh your options. If it's $700, maybe.
Well, I mean,
But if it's
the
$500,
Xbox Series X is like, some version is $750 now with all the price increases,
yeah.
so
I mean, it's like $750. And Steam Machine, Xbox Series X, I would probably still lean Steam Machine, to be honest, because it can work as a regular computer too. But it is comparable at that price. But for PlayStation, how much is the new one, the 5 Pro?
the
How
5
much is
Pro
that? Is that 600?
is like $800, $8 or
Okay.
$900.
Yeah, $800, and then the regular 5 is like $600?
Yeah, well, it's like $650 now. They increased the price several times, so
Let me see. Right now, PS5 from GameStop, it is, oh, that's a Pro. The Slim is 550. I don't see any regular ones. I only see Slim and Pros. Okay, $600 at Walmart for the regular version.
Yeah,
$600.
so pretty expensive.
Yeah. And I the headset, the VR headset, I'd say skip it. I see some people really liking it, but I don't want a VR headset. I want an XR headset that can work as a VR headset, like any other headset on the market right now. So for me, I'm out of that one. I would not buy it, especially, was it? I think they said it was going to be about $500 also. I think it was. And for that price, the screens are worse. The battery life is worse. The functionality of it's worse. I'm like, no, just skip on that one.
Because, like, the one of the things they said is you can connect it to the PC. So can a Quest 3. It has gaming. You can play Steam games on a Quest 3.
Yeah, and you can play Steam games on a Galaxy VR too. Samsung literally built it right into the headset to do the exact same thing that the Steam one did. Yes, the Galaxy VR is way more expensive, but still, it has VR aspects to it. It can run its own software. It actually is a full VR headset. Of course, MetaQuest 3, if you're shopping for that one, that's going to be way better than both of those options, though.
Yeah, and then moving on, there was another internet outage, which was the Cloudflare outage. So what do you know about that?
Third time's the charm. This is the third time it's happened. It's absolutely insane. It's like week after week after week. Crash. Oh no, crash. Oh no, crash again. So the first outage that happened like 3 or 4 weeks ago, that was AWS. They had like a DNS server routing error. They got it fixed in like 6 hours, something like that. It affected me. I couldn't do my school or anything. But then uh, Microsoft Azure cloud servers the next week went out, which honestly I didn't notice, to be honest. Yeah, I don't use any Microsoft products at all, so I didn't notice it was out. Except for my mother's like scheduling app. Oh yeah, my work scheduling app. Both of those failed because apparently they use Microsoft Azure. And now this week it was Cloudflare. Now Cloudflare Cloudflare is the most important like server protocol service anti-bot measure there is. Everyone uses it. Everyone besides Google uses it. Like all Microsoft products, Cloudflare. All Amazon products, Cloudflare. And there's so many services that use Cloudflare. Like every single thing on the internet uses Cloudflare. Now, I don't actually really know what happened. So what have you heard that happened to the Cloudflare?
So I read an article and they quoted what happened, but it literally means nothing. They said an internal software issue, like, duh. But they didn't really actually say what it was.
Okay. So I did watch another podcast the other day. They were talking about it, so I think I understood what they're talking about. I'm not exactly sure about this though. So Cloudflare has an anti-bot system, which in other words, you go to a website, it verifies if you're a bot or not. If you're a bot, it blocks you. If you're not a bot, it lets you through. And using that data, it creates a profile on you, a file with information on you, like what your web browser is, what the time you access the data is, what you're accessing. And using that file, it sends it to the machine. I mean, machine says, is this a human or is this not a human? But the thing is, that file got corrupted somehow. The way that it put the information together, they did not close a string properly. In other words, that file was way too big. If the file was supposed to be like 10 kilobytes, something extremely small. The file ended up being like 10 megabytes, which in normal production, that's not a problem. But Cloudflare, they want their system as fast as possible. In other words, if the file is too large, it just ejects it. It just rejects it. If your file's too large, it rejects it. And that's what happened to every single person. It just rejected the file because the file's too big. But then it started working again because they put their fail-safe systems turned on. But then the fail-safe systems started not working too. And so it went back out again, then went back up, then went back down, then went back up. And then finally, someone Cloudflare's like, hey, wait a second. This is a problem. Let me fix it. Which I don't know how long that problem took because it was so intermittent. I didn't know when it was up and when it was down. Did you personally at any time experience a problem with Cloudflare?
No, I didn't even know it actually happened for me. So, I don't
Yeah. It
I think a lot
yeah, it was also regional. So some regions had it worse than other regions.
yeah. Also, I think a lot more of the, like, enterprises use that than so I don't know, but I didn't notice it personally. Well,
Yeah.
I
Let
I
me
mean,
let me check something.
the only thing that I did notice is that Canva wasn't working at one point, but it was working on my iPad, but wasn't working on my computer, and
Yes.
for some okay, I asked Alexa, and it said there was an outage, but it was working on my iPad, so I don't know.
Yeah, if it's on the iPad, it's running offline. So if you're like running on your computer, it probably is like connecting to the server a lot more. And let's see. Um, I was checking something right now and I don't seem to find it. I was just like on a pull up a random website, see if it used Cloudflare. Let's see this one here. I just opened a random website. Yes, Cloudflare. I just opened my glasses ordering company, Cloudflare, all on their like certificates and stuff like that. Like this, was it 3 million websites use Cloudflare? So the whole like internet went down where the Cloudflare was having the outage. I think it was more on the west side of America, not really Central America where we are. So I don't think we experienced it too badly, but I know a lot of people over there, they couldn't like access anything. And so going back to our question, do you think companies should have this much power over if they just cease to exist? The whole entire internet would just crumble.
Yeah, I this is honestly, like, why I don't like everything going to cloud. Like, I wish more things were on device because of this exact problem, because almost everything uses cloud, and crucial things use cloud, and when it goes out, there's nothing you can literally do.
Hmm. Yeah. I So, like all the websites going down for the AWS outage, that's the one I experienced the most out of all of them. Then the Azure cloud problem, Microsoft's cloud solution. I didn't really notice too much. I could check my schedule, but I already put my schedule on my Google Calendar, so that was fine. And then this one, I noticed for a bit. Like certain services didn't work randomly, especially like Down Detector. I was trying to see which service was down using Down Detector. Problem is, Down Detector itself was down. So I couldn't check which websites were down using Down Detector, which was hilarious. I'm like, what's going on? I'm checking Down Detector and it didn't work. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Amazon doesn't have another outage because maybe you're trying to buy a car from them. So Amazon recently announced buying cars on Amazon. What is that?
I don't know, like, oh, one day you're gonna be able to buy your house, free shipping on your house, like, but so from what I've heard, it's it's weird. I'm not even sure what it is. Like, I guess you see, it's only pre-owned Fords in select locations, which means like basically nowhere. And you bet, like you still have to like go to a dealer. And it's kind of like some of those other programs, like Auto Track or whatever. Just use those. Don't use this. This is so weird. Like, unless I can order my car and I get free shipping on my car and it just arrives at my door.
Yeah, like more like car. I was assuming it would be more like Carvana, like Amazon doing a Carvana thing where you order your car online, it's shipped to you. No, they're only for Ford cars. You can buy on Amazon, only used, only at dealerships that you have to go and pick up yourself. What's the point of Amazon at all in this fraction? What are they doing here? They're not, I mean, these car places already have their own website. They already have their own cars. They already have their own salespeople. What is Amazon actually doing in this scenario? What are they providing?
Like, honestly, literally nothing. Like, I don't know what they could provide differently. And I honestly think it's just part of Amazon likes to be in everything, like Amazon Basics and all these different Amazon things that they're trying to compete with, everyone and everything. So
Mm.
I honestly think that is one of the main purposes of doing this.
Wait, but I just realized, doesn't Amazon have their own car brand already? Rivian? Isn't Rivian owned by Amazon?
I have no
Just a second. I thought it was owned by Amazon. Yeah, Amazon owns 16% of the whole company. So why why don't they sell Rivians then? Why is it Ford cars?
I don't know. It's
They don't
so
mm,
weird. I honestly don't know. It's so
yeah,
pointless.
well, I don't see myself buying a car on Amazon. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know if you're going to, Danny, though.
I definitely not. Who knows? Maybe by the time I buy my car, I'll get free shipping and I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to fit it on my front porch. That's the only problem. It'd also be a little hard to, carry out of the truck. I don't even know if they would fit it
Yeah.
in the mail truck.
Yep. I wonder what the return policy is on their car too. If it comes scratched, do you get a free replacement or what?
Or you know how sometimes they're like, "You can keep it, we'll just refund it."
Oh, that would be amazing. You could yeah, I have had that happen so many times where it's just like, this thing doesn't work at all. "Oh, you can keep the product." I'm like, "I'm sorry?"
Like, you could just
"Oh, okay. I'll
order,
keep
like,
it."
a ton of cars and then return them all, and they're like, "Oh, you can just keep it," and then sell all the cars but one and get, like, a ton of money or something.
That would be I'm sure they probably won't let you do that. That'd be absolutely insane if they did.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Vine?
I've heard some people talk about it, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was until I looked more into it, talking about this next topic, so I have kind of heard that before.
Apparently, it's coming back. Okay, so Vine was like what was it? It was, like, very similar to TikTok, where it was a scrolling feed of videos that were 6 seconds or less. And it just kinda went away because it wasn't too popular. Something happened with the company where they weren't, like, financially stable or something like that. I don't know what happened, but, like 7 years later, about, like, 7 years later, they're back with a new app called Divine. Okay?
Like,
Honestly, I don't find it interesting whatsoever.
yeah, 6 seconds. I feel like this app is, like, only for creating memes that are 6 seconds. Like, why? Like, at that point, you should either have video social media or photo social media that's longer than 6 seconds because there's not much you can, do. And you can
Yeah,
only
I just think they're just Yeah, I think they're just trying to grab nostalgia for all the people who used to use it. Like, "Hey, it's back. You wanna keep using it?" But once everyone finds out, like, "Oh, this wasn't that great as I remembered,"
Yeah, it's
so
probably gonna
they're
just
just gonna
fall
s
off.
No, I don't think it's gonna last whatsoever. But the biggest announcement I have heard in forever is Google just did something unthinkable, which they might get in trouble for, we'll find out, but they did something. So Androids have had quick share, which worked-ish. No one really used it. I used it all the time, but anytime I would like, "Hey, could you quick share me that?" No one knew that it existed, which was hilarious. But I always quick share like things between my phone, my mother's phone, my sister's phone, and to my computer because quick share works on
So,
Windows and Linux
it's
too.
basically AirDrop, basically.
Yeah, it was AirDrop. But Google reverse engineered the protocol for AirDrop, and it now is integrated in QuickShare on some Pixel phones. But this is amazing. I cannot wait for it to be mainstream where I can finally send files to an iPhone and they won't complain about it because I can just airdrop it to them like everyone else does.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited for this. I think this is really cool. I honestly don't know how in the world they managed to pull this off, but my only fear is knowing Apple, they're probably in the next update are going to change the protocol and it won't work.
Yes, I mean, they did this with iMessage. A company named Beeper, they reverse engineered iMessage. In other words, every single iMessage feature, every single one just worked on your Android phone. All you needed was an Apple account. You didn't even need an Apple computer or anything. It just natively worked on your phone. Apple, was it? I think it was 3 or 4 days later, shut it down. They made it to where it didn't work anymore. 3 or 4 days later after the announcement. After the announcement, they're like, no. And their claim was it was insecure because of this reason or that reason. It wasn't secure, and we keep people's security at max. That makes sense, I understand. But Google has specifically released this, and they said, quote, they have started it with privacy and security first foremost when making this change. And they've had themselves and independent researchers test the security of it, and they have all passed it. So if Apple pulls it's not secure, I am going to be very mad. If they just say, "Oh, it's not secure," I'm like, No, it is. Just please don't take this away from us."
Like I'm I think it's secure. I mean, I don't know, but I definitely sadly think they will do that. And, like, Beeper Mini, I think even once Apple did that, like, then they made it where you had to have an iPhone, but, like, you put something on the iPhone, which then sent it to the Android, and then they found a way to deactivate that. I don't know if Apple will stop this. This is the I could actually see them not stopping it, but then again, most likely they will stop it. But if they do, it'd probably I mean, thinking about what could they say for the reason of stopping it? Like, what would you think they would say?
That's the problem because for the iMessage thing, they just said security is the problem. With this thing, I don't think they can say that. And if they don't have a good reason why, I think people are get very upset. Not just myself. I think even Apple people get upset. It's like, hey, I was able to airdrop to Android just yesterday. Why does it no longer work? And then Google will be like, hey, Apple made this not work. And then Apple's gonna be like, hey, it's security, but they can't say that. They have to say something else. I think it will cause a lot of damage to Apple if they shut it down, especially because it's all the laws EU's passing. I think EU will see that and be like, "Oh, no, 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 you can't do that. You undo that." Just like they did with like USB-C and RCS and all that stuff. I think this is going to become a major problem.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
I
really
think that Oh, sorry, you go.
I'm really excited for this and thinking about what they would say. I mean, basically the only thing I could say is it's our feature, you can't steal it. But which I mean, if I were Apple and I was in their mindset, I would say this is our feature that was an exclusive thing and then you're trying just like Beeper Mini, iMessage was an exclusive feature to their phones, and Android has their own version of it, but they did something to their version of it to get it to work on theirs. So, but let's say Apple reverse engineered something that's exclusive to Google. What would you say to that?
Honestly, I would not care. I mean, let's say they reverse engineered quick share. Okay, great. I don't care. They can if it works, it works. If they reverse engineer, what's it called? Now playing on the pixels where, like, you just put your phone on the table and it automatically just, like, picks up what song's playing around you. It Pixels do that already. If they reverse engineer that or if they let's see, the seamless earbud connection between, like, Samsung devices, I wouldn't care. If they were at that, great, it works. I don't see a big problem with it because if it works, it works. And I don't see a problem with it just being better. Because in my opinion, if it just works on everything, it's automatically better.
Yeah, definitely for AirDrop working for iPhone. I just hope Apple doesn't reverse engineer it. As far as the iMessage thing, I can kind of see more why Apple would stop doing that, but for this, I don't think there's a real reason. And I'm not sure when it was announced, but so far from what I've heard, it still works, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it still works as of today. And it's only still for the Google Pixel 10 series. But my Samsung phone got an update. Was it 2 days ago for Google Play services? Now, with Android, Google Play services are all the Google features on your phone. Google Play services take care of it. You don't have to have a software update for new features on your phone. They just update it like one of your regular apps. They added in the release notes. It says added third party third party add-ons for QuickShare, aka adding third party options. In other words, AirDrop options for QuickShare. So it is coming to new like other Android phones sometime. I don't know when it's going to be. Hopefully, it's soon before it's not gotten rid of. But I'm really excited to see where this goes.
So do you know if it works on your phone? Because
I have not been able to test it
yeah,
because I don't have an iPhone in my house at all, so I haven't been able to test
yeah,
it.
we'll have to test that sometime.
Yeah. Um, from the sounds of it, I don't think it's available on my phone. I think it's still the Pixel 10 series. I think they're still testing it out, making sure it's fine before they release it to every phone.
All right, and for our last topic, we're going to be talking about the DJI possible drone ban. Sterling, I'll let you talk about this because I think you know more about this than I do. So,
Yeah. Well, so government for the last, I think it's been like 4 years, have been deciding if they want to ban DJI drones or not. So they banned all Chinese like electronics from all government facilities. That include DJI drones, ZTE phones, Xiaomi phones, all that stuff. That stuff was banned because it was a national security threat if we were using that stuff in government facilities. That makes sense. Completely understandable. They don't want you want a drone flying around this facility like showing all information to the Chinese government. That makes sense. But now they're possibly banning every single DJI drone. I I don't see why. I see this as insane. This is basically saying all the companies who spent millions of dollars in DJI drones. Think about cell tower companies. They use their drones to check up on top of the cell towers instead of having to climb up and with personnel up there. They do that to check the cell towers. Farmers use that to check on their plants, like acres and acres away. It's Drones are even used like in some like sewage lines and that kind of stuff where people can't get in. And now what they're doing is you can't fly any of them, which is absolutely insane. I mean, I personally have a DJI drone. I like it. I mean, I don't really have a use for it. It's more for fun. But if that were just to suddenly stop working because they think it's going to leak our infrastructure, which is a valid reason, leaking our infrastructure, that makes sense. We don't want the Chinese understanding exactly what we're doing. They don't want the Chinese understanding exactly where our data points are and all that stuff. The thing is, there's no proof whatsoever that that's actually even happening. There's no proof that that is even happening. Yes, it connects to a Chinese server, basically saying, is this drone valid? Yes, it is valid. And for people to check up on the drones, they don't send enough data to send video data. They're not sending enough data to be video data. So that's already proven that it's not taking video data. It could be taking photo data. We don't know that. But it's never been proven that it's true. And what do you think about this? I mean,
I I mean, I can kinda see the security thing, but I'm very against it because, industry workers and also content creators, like, DJI is basically the best drone brand in my opinion, and, like, filmmakers, they make drone lines specifically for filmmakers. And the thing is, there's not really a good US alternative to them. And another thing that's a little suspicious to me is from what I've heard, your current drones should still work. And if it was really a security threat, don't you think they would deactivate the current drones because people will still use them? So, I mean,
Wait, are you able to use the drones still?
yeah, I actually saw a post from DJI saying that you should. It sounds like it's not confirmed yet, but it might be possibility. But either way, I still think this is not a good idea. It's like it's like TikTok that is supposed apparently it's gonna get banned again because it supposedly got banned. And like I don't use TikTok. I don't care for TikTok, but I know some people do. And I'm like, I don't necessarily see the reason like for that. And I'm like, I saw this one just a clip from like a court thing for TikTok. And the judge was like, does TikTok access my home Wi-Fi network? And I'm like, how in the world will it work if it doesn't?
Okay, so I did read up. It is, yes, new existing drones, they're fine because it is banning them from being added to the FCC cleared list, which now I'm thinking that might become a problem because that doesn't really stop them from selling the US. Yes, it's technically illegal to sell in the US, but there's nothing stopping you because you can fly it and there's no way for them to know if it's FCC certified or not certified. You could say, oh, yeah, that was last year's model. It's FCC certified, and it could be a brand new one that's not, which I'm seeing this as a big problem because they're still going to be sold, just not cleared for proper communication, which that means there's going to be no restrictions on them whatsoever. That means there's going to be no restrictions to how strong the signal from the remote, from the controller, all of that, which can cause some major problems than fixing them.
Yeah, and actually, from what you said, that raised my concern even more because it's like there's loopholes in what the government's saying about this. I mean, I don't know, but like, I mean, as far as how they can tell, like, there is no way they can tell if it's FCC certified. And I know in some countries, they will, if they see you flying a drone, they'll, like, take you in, and I mean, I guess they could be like, before you're allowed, every time they see you, have to check it, but that would be I and then with the covered list, it's just so weird on in some ways because it's like they're saying it's for security, but then when you dig deeper, there's loopholes in that security.
Yeah, and for being security, they're not blocking the existing DJI drones. So even if they don't illegally distribute them, they're still there, and they're still going to be distributed around the US because they're still there, they're still functioning.
Yeah, I like but yeah, just like what you said there. And I if drones do get banned, I do really think it would have a big impact, and there might be people who smuggle them into the country that don't have regulations on the smuggled ones, and I mean, it could be bad, and I don't know. So, yeah.
And there's no alternative. There's I mean, name one other drone brand from the top of your head.
Uh, Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I've seen a few other ones that I can't remember the name, but the thing is, even the smaller other drone brands are also Chinese based. So it's like,
Mm. Yeah, I'm looking right now. Let's see. I'm on Amazon right now. Here are the top 3 results. DJI, 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 and then lower DJI. Um, This one has no name brand. That one has no name brand. That one's DJI. That's no name brand. DJI. That's pretty much it. There is no other brand that's American, let alone any other brand at all.
In fact, digging deeper, most of any other drone brands are also Chinese based. Like this one brand, which I think you pronounce it Roco or Raco, and I looked it up and they are a Chinese brand. So it's still the same problem then.
Yeah, I'm looking. It looks like there's a company called Skydio. That one is basically like the only other option, which I've never heard of. I've never heard of Skydio.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. Let me look that up. Skydio.
The
Doo-doo-doo.
thing is like search if that brand's Chinese because I bet you it's probably Chinese.
Yeah, they're American based, but I'm thinking that they're probably doing their manufacturing in China. No, no, actually it is designed, assembled, and supported in the US.
Oh
Okay.
wow. So, but
Okay.
still very few.
Let's see how expensive their drones are, by the way. Let's see their regular drones. Um, there's no price on their website. Of course there's not. You have to contact them to get a drone from them.
And see,
Okay.
that's another thing with these alternatives. They're so low production that the prices are constantly changing. You're gonna have to wait for months. So,
hmm So I'm thinking, I don't know what's going to happen at this point. Everyone is like probably going to scramble to either one, sign a petition that they don't do this, or two, they're just going to have to settle for something that's much worse.
yeah.
And to finalize all of our topics, there's something new called Gemini 3. Um, I've used it. It's okay. It's Gemini. That's my opinion on it. It's just Gemini. Maybe it takes a little bit longer to respond.
Yeah,
That's about it.
I've been seeing, announcements for it, but I have yet to find out, like, a list of the new things for it. So, I mean, hey, if they're improving things, but I mean, if like you said, if it's slower, that's not really improving, I don't know. But
Yeah, it's supposed to understand what you're asking it better and automatically like have more filtered results, like more safe results. Which that explains why it takes longer because it's like making sure that what it's saying is safe and not dangerous or whatever. But I used it besides ChatGPT, not ChatGPT. I'm sorry, Gemini 2.5, and it's was basically the same. I used them side by side, asked it a couple of questions. It responded like the same.
yeah.
But what's really interesting is when Apple Intelligence is finally going to come out with Gemini. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how they'll announce that. Will they say it's Gemini? Will they not? I don't know.
Oh, do you think Apple would even want to admit it's Gemini?
I honestly could see them doing that because I mean, when they were talking about features of ChatGPT, they talked about it that like ChatGPT is built into Image Playground now, and they talked about it. So I honestly could see them talking about it when it comes to that.
Mhm.
Uh,
But Gemini has a really bad reputation. Like, especially like when you're searching things up, the AI results, a lot of people call that Gemini. It's not Gemini, it's like a different branch, whatever. But a lot of people view Gemini as bad. I mean, I've talked to someone the other day, it's like, oh, Gemini is trash. I'm like, obviously you've never used Gemini. It's just everyone believes that Gemini is the discount version of ChatGPT.
yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, I've heard that Gemini is good. I don't know because I've I've used it like 2 times.
Yeah. I I use Gemini all the time for a lot of stuff. Like even it's built into my assistant on my phone. So in other words, I tell it to call someone, I tell it to text someone. It's Gemini doing that. I'm not doing anything about it. And it's always worked for me, to be honest. I've never had it to be wrong. Let's see. Has it ever been wrong for me? Yes, it has been wrong once. I was asking it, what an object was through, like, the Gemini Live thing. It told me, like, the wrong model number, which, okay, it's the wrong model number. That's not too hard. That's not too easy to get right, you know?
And it's AI. There will sometimes, I use ChatGPT because it is baked into Apple Intelligence. And technically, because it is in Siri, you have to enable some permissions. But the thing is, it's not really integrated because sometimes they'll say something like, I don't understand. Then sometimes it will ask ChatGPT. Then sometimes you have to be like, hey Siri, ask ChatGPT, blah, blah, blah. So with Gemini, it should be completely in there. So
Yeah.
I,
I mean, the oth the other day, I was watching a video of, like, Gemini versus Siri, and it was really insane.
it heard me and it
Oh.
searched on the web.
Oh, so helpful.
Yeah. Hey, at least it didn't call 911 this time.
Yep. Oh, what like, with it was a video on, like, Gemini and then, like, ChatGPT and Siri together. It couldn't do anything because ChatGPT doesn't really have access to your phone itself. Like, it can't send text on your behalf. Only Siri can do that. It can't do multi-steps on your behalf. ChatGPT can answer questions for you, and that's pretty much what I think it can do on iPhone, right? It can't, like, access any of your settings or anything, right, like that,
No,
right?
it cannot access apps, it cannot do that. I mean, you can ask it follow-up questions. Um, Now you can be like, "What is this on my screen?" You'll be like, "Do you wanna share your screenshot?" And then you can do that. But then with the newer visual intelligence where it's basically circle to search, it's the same. So, yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So, I don't think it's too exciting, Gemini 3. I'm just excited for when it comes to Apple. I'm just excited for that.
Yeah, me too. Well, everyone, that is all the topics for today, and we'll see y'all in the next episode in the next 2 weeks.
See ya.